Things are getting pretty wild out there for the Bud Light boycott, and not just for the brand of Bud Light, not just for the company of Anheuser-Busch, but also, as it seems, as you can see on the screen right here, for the drinkers of Bud Light as well. We see Bud Light already fired a couple of people. They fired the VP of marketing, they fired the VP of marketing's boss, and a lot of people out there like to correct me and say they're placed on leave. They weren't fired, and I understand that, but we all know that placed on leave is not a good thing. It's most likely transitioning them into unemployment without being all loud about it, without coming out and saying straight up, we disavow the Dylan Mulvaney ad campaign and that's why we fired these people. So they placed them on leave instead, and will probably either eventually phase them into unemployment or maybe phase them into a lower position in the company. But either way, it's a win for us, because the people who caused this entire controversy, the people who hired Dylan Mulvaney to be part of Bud Light, were fired, or I guess you could say placed on leave. And then there's also those rumors that they also fired the third-party marketing agency, but then people are saying that's a conspiracy theory because people, they're saying that the third-party marketing agency never existed. They're using it as a scapegoat. Who knows what's going on? Either way, though, things are getting pretty wild when it comes to this Bud Light boycott. As you can see on the screen right here, couple assaulted outside liquor store over suspected Bud Light purchase. That's crazy. I just want to say up front, this shouldn't be happening. I'm not going to support this and say that this is a good thing. This isn't equivalent to people at Bud Light being fired. This is in no way a win, in my opinion. It does just go to show you, though, that people are very passionate about this Bud Light boycott, that people are very passionate about this issue that we're having with Bud Light and with all these other corporations going woke and trying to capture this new audience that they're trying to capture, this very small, almost fictional, borderline fictional audience that they're trying to capture by doing these weird ass campaigns. People are very passionate about this, man, and people aren't going to let it slide. When things start to get this bad, where people are getting assaulted over this boycott, people are getting assaulted over drinking beer, over their beer choice, that's when you know things are getting serious out there. Let's check out this story. A couple was reportedly assaulted outside of a liquor store after being confronted by a group of men over their suspected purchase of Bud Light beer, police suspect. The incident took place on Saturday night in the city of Vaughan, Ontario, a suburb located just north of Toronto in Canada. York Regional Police said that in an official statement that a couple was accosted by a group of 3 men after leaving a liquor store located on Jane Street and Major Mackenzie Drive West, allegedly targeting the 26-year-old male victim's supposed purchase of Bud Light and using various homophobic insults. When one of the men approached the male victim, the female victim, 27, tried to step in between them and keep the situation from escalating, at which point the suspect physically assaulted her. The 2 men then got involved and the group began attacking both victims. The group of attackers fled the scene after a bystander intervened. The woman was brought to a nearby hospital for treatment of her injuries, while her partner sustained only minor injuries and did not require medical attention. Once again, just want to say this is a horrible situation and you shouldn't be getting assaulted because you're drinking Bud Light. But I mean, you know how to avoid this. Just don't drink Bud Light. And that's halfway a joke, but halfway not a joke. I obviously totally disavow people assaulting others for drinking Bud Light. I think we need to continue the peaceful protest. We don't need to devolve into whatever the BLM stuff and all the other riots and looting that was happening with that situation. We don't need to devolve into something like that. We need to keep this peaceful, keep this online, keep this with the sales numbers, with the sales percentages going down, and not with physically assaulting people. But anyway, we've been doing fine as it is. We've been doing really, really well. People are saying this is the most successful boycott of all time, at least in modern history. Like that's really good. We don't need to take it to the point where we're assaulting people over Bud Light. The Bud Light beer brand became a flashpoint of controversy amongst conservatives after its parent company Anheuser-Busch sent a commemorative Bud Light can to Dylan Mulvaney, a popular transgender social media influencer, to commemorate her 365th day of transition to girlhood. Still can't even believe that was a thing, that Bud Light or Anheuser-Busch sent Dylan Mulvaney a can to commemorate his 365th day transition to girlhood. It's just, we live in a clown world. But anyway, despite the fact that the so-called partnership between the beer brand and Mulvaney only accounted to a short social media video, the reaction swiftly escalated. Well, who knows if it was only going to be one short social media video if the reaction didn't swiftly escalate. Maybe if nobody reacted to it, they would have done 5 more videos, maybe even an official commercial on TV. Who knows what they would have done if we didn't react the way that we did? Who knows how much further they would have taken this? I think that they probably had some more planned to do with Dylan Mulvaney. I don't think that's just a one and done thing that you do. I don't think that you make an entire can and send it to Dylan Mulvaney just for him to make a short little social media video. I don't see that happening. I think they probably had more planned in the future, and they probably scrapped it because of how bad the backlash was. And they probably had to pay him a bunch of more money because they didn't continue to platform him. But anyway, threatening to boycott the brand and destroying cans of the product on video, while others allegedly called in bomb threats to Anheuser-Busch facilities. I did hear that as well. I don't know if that's true or not, but once again, I don't want people calling in bomb threats or assaulting people or anything. That's dumb. Let's just stop buying their products, and they're already hurting. You know, like I said, they're already hurting. Their sales numbers are down astronomically. Like, we don't need to be doing all that other extra stuff. One of the suspects commented on the male victim's choice of alcohol and uttered anti-homosexual derogatory slurs as he approached the victim, the York Regional Police's statement explained. Police also noted later that the victims had not even purchased Bud Light that night, but rather a different unspecified product that the attackers mistook for Bud Light. But it wasn't. He didn't actually have Bud Light, a spokesperson for the department told Global News. I guess there were some rainbow colors on the can, so it was initiated that way. Then upon further determination as to what they purchased, they still weren't happy with that. Let's just put it that way, and the insults continued. So here is a picture of the guy. It says, help us identify the suspect, and two others sought for a possible hate-motivated assault that occurred outside a liquor store in the area of Jane Street. So yeah, I guess that's the guy right there. A photo of one of the attackers was released on Twitter in a bid to solicit public help in identifying them. He is described as a 25 to 35-year-old man with a slim build, buzz cut. We don't really care what he is described as. But yeah, it is kind of a sad situation that, you know, a couple was attacked over buying Bud Light when they, for one, didn't even buy Bud Light, but also two, it's just sad in general. Even if they did buy Bud Light, it's just, you know, it just shouldn't be happening. But we also have this story. Yuengling smells Bud Light blood in the water, releases red, white, and blue camo cans to support military vets. So obviously all these other beer brands are already profiting. They're already very much benefiting off of Bud Light absolutely shitting the bed with their, you know, with the Dylan Mulvaney ad campaign, and now nobody's buying Bud Light and they have to buy some sort of beer. So they're all buying Coors, they're buying Miller, and a lot of people now are buying Yuengling. And I guess they're realizing that, hey, we're getting a lot of new fans, we're getting a lot of new consumers. Let's just go all in on this. And here is the new cans they have, red, white, and blue. So they're really trying to go hard on capturing that audience that Bud Light has lost. The numbers are in, and Bud Light is getting its ass kicked, while Yuengling is happy taking the brand's old customers after one of the biggest marketing disasters in modern advertising history, as Bud Light is being curb stomped by a customer base that's terrified to be seen drinking out of a blue can. Yuengling came out of the gates Monday morning announcing the brand would once again serve up its lagers in red, white, and blue camo cans. Marketing 101, look at these boxes, let's go USA. It's very obvious that they're trying to capitalize off of the Bud Light debacle, but I don't blame them. I think it's really good. I'm pretty sure, and correct me if I'm wrong on this in the comments, I'm pretty sure Yuengling is 100% United States owned or America owned, and it's also created in America and everything like that. So as opposed to Anheuser-Busch, which is, I think it's Belgian owned, so it's not even owned by the US. So I think a lot of people are kind of transferring over to Yuengling anyway for that reason. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments on that, but let me know what you think though about the entire situation, about this couple being assaulted over a suspected Bud Light purchase. I think it's kind of sad. Let me know how you're thinking in the comments.